What's poppin', beautiful people? It's your girl, Amber Symone, and you may recognize a very special guest who is sitting beside me today, Brandon Towns. He was my feature on episode 1, and he is back to run it again. We are doing a Valentine's Day special, and I'm so excited to see how this goes. Brandon, now be honest. How has your week been this week?
You know, Ams, when you have one of those weeks, like, it wasn't a bad week.
Yes.
But it was one of those weeks where it tried you.
Kicked you in the tush a little bit.
Kicked me in the tush. Might have stomped me out on the curb a little bit. But we made it to Friday night.
No,
so.
I know. I'm very happy. I was a little worried we weren't going to be able to get our Valentine's Day special in, but I really wanted to bring something fun and fresh for you all. I am bringing a really old study onto the show. Brandon has pointed this out, and he is the research king. And I'm like, I want to do this study from 1997. It's like 36 questions you can do with your partner. Honestly, I feel like you can do it with anybody, but really, I want to do it with you today to see how this goes. And really to see what kind of conversations we can pull from this very old study, as Brandon puts it.
Well, I want to do the study with you. So let's get to it. But first, we need to check in from our beautiful host. How was your week?
Man, this week was long. I actually went into the office. So I work at a tech company, and I went into the office twice this week. We're still remote.
Amber went into the office.
Yeah, I went into the office twice, 2 times. It really is unheard of. Typically, so I'm in partnerships. I only go into the office really when I'm there to help a partner with their own podcast or really help with setup. But for the most part, I'm not in office, and it's a beautiful office, but it's in downtown LA. So traffic be kicking me in the morning and in the afternoon. I didn't get out until about 6 o'clock. And when I tell you, the meter said that I was 9.5 miles away from home, and it took me 45 minutes to get home. My mom was like, that should at least be like 10 minutes. I was like, sis, do you know where I live?
So you get a little taste of what it's like going from the west side to Pasadena for class.
I really said, I was like, no, seriously, Brandon, I commend you. Brandon drives to Pasadena all the time. You have to physically leave the house every day.
I do.
And I really do commend you on that, because some days I really just cannot get up.
Y'all, I feel seen.
No, you should feel seen. Like, you're doing a lot. Like, I make sure I get at least 8 or 9 hours of sleep.
10, 11,
no, I do not do 10,
12.
11. I don't.
13 on a good night.
The only thing Brandon sees me, I am a big night owl. We gonna wait till Brandon done, because I don't have time today.
Some days it might be 14.
Brandon, please stop the drama.
Okay,
it's really drama.
I'm done. Proceed, please.
But seriously, I'm up till like 3 a.m. The other night, I was looking at Golden Doodle rescues. The other night, I'm looking at paper plates for my birthday party. I don't know. Is that insomnia?
I mean, when you finally lay down in bed,
I cannot go to sleep.
Can you not, like, even if you try to, you
I'm
don't?
thinking like about 100 things I could be doing.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm always thinking about like, oh my God, I should have done this, or I should have finished this, or I'm always thinking about something.
I mean, insomnia is either you can't fall asleep or you can't stay asleep. So.
Oh no, I could stay asleep now.
Oh yeah,
if I didn't set an alarm clock, I can rest. If I have blackout curtains, no alarm, I might have put a little lavender oil on my neck the night before. Really not.
Not the lavender.
And especially if Brandon wasn't up making all the noise in the morning, I really would be asleep.
Girl, I am so quiet in the morning. I am courteous.
Y'all, imagine someone getting silent. Up him trying to be silent, and he has the flash on his phone shooting into my eyes as I'm sleeping. It's just
would you rather
it make sense.
Would you rather have the flash on, or would you rather have the ceiling light on?
I'd rather you get a night lamp.
A night lamp
on your nightstand. That's what most normal people have, boo. Seriously, we used to have those.
We did.
And they're in the guest bedroom.
I was like, what happened
I know, I was like,
where did those go?
Yeah. So it's not going in the master bedroom decor, but nonetheless, thank you for checking in on me. I appreciate
Always,
it.
Boo.
Yeah, it definitely has been a long week. I've been driving up and back from Fontana taking care of family business. It's been a mission. Your girl was tired. I was like, I need to take a nap before we shoot this podcast. But thank you. I appreciate you for seeing me.
Was it a good nap?
It was a great nap.
I love that for you.
All right, y'all. So we are going to jump into this study. I really want to give credit to Robbie Berman. So I found this article and it's called, "Is This Valentine's Day? Thanks to the 36 Love Questions." Now you might be wondering, what are these love questions? It's a series of 36 questions and it's broken down into 3 parts. And like I mentioned before, you can do this with your romantic partner or you can do this with your best friend. I feel like it can really spark some interesting conversations and I'm going to see where this leads us.
Yeah, interesting is a way to put it.
Yeah, Brandon has taken a little sneak peek at some of the questions because I was like, I don't want him to go into this completely blind, but for the most part, he did see this like 5 minutes before we hopped on the pod. So that's not enough preparation for him to really, cheat his answers out.
So you think?
So I know. So Robbie Berman in the article, just want to give you a little context. He says, "You may remember hearing about Arthur Aaron's 36 questions that can make 2 people fall in love in a single conversation. For someone alone on Valentine's Day, it sounds like the perfect date to have with a crush. The 36 questions, or closeness generating procedure, were first published in a 1997 study that arose from Aaron's experience of falling in love with his wife, Elaine. It wasn't exactly his intent to create a template for a romance-inducing conversation. The idea was that we wanted to study what goes on with closeness. How does it affect your hormones, your brain, your behavior?" Does that make sense to you so far, Brandon?
Makes sense, but I have a slight tangent question.
Okay, what's your question?
Do you believe that love could happen at first sight? Or, in this case, off of one conversation?
So, the old me would want to say yes, but honestly, the mature me, love at first sight, it might be lust at first sight, like, oh, that person's fire, like, that. Just you're obsessed with their physicalities of how they look.
Who are you talking about?
Brandon, please. Please. No, but I'm serious. I'm even thinking of like when I was in middle school, I actually did think I was in love with someone and it was really off of looks. I did not know this person at all. And really like that was silly of a little girl. Oh my God, I love you, blah, blah, blah. But like as a mature woman, I don't necessarily think, what is it that I love about you? I don't know you. Now I might lust you. Is that a thing? Can I lust you?
You can. that can certainly be.
So, do you believe in love at first sight?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I feel like love is something that you learn to. Love is something that you possess over time of learning someone's, not just their kind of surface level they present to you when you first meet somebody, but things you pick up on them that they'll never tell you about. The little ticks and quirks and even the little annoyances that everyone has, period. Those things that you start to kind of bond with and really appreciate, that to me is when love starts to happen. And that's a slow process that takes time to really get into. You can't do that off of one conversation, one view.
Yeah, true. And I wish you guys were there to watch Brandon and I watch Love is Blind. If you have seen Love is Blind on Netflix, it is extremely entertaining. And I do think it creates dialogue for you and your partner as you're watching the show, because some of the stuff is just so absurd. But then some of it, a few of those couples are actually married, and Brandon's like, "There's no way someone's gonna be married by the end of this."
That's still married at this point.
No, but I'm saying through the seasons, boo. Like, there's a few people who are still married.
There's only been 2,
3,
2.
I don't know how many seasons it's been, but I'm like, some of them did work out though. And Love was Blind.
They have that one spokesperson couple.
Stop.
You know what I'm talking about.
It was.
Everyone else is struggling.
Look, in the last season, if you did watch Love is Blind, there's an interracial couple and they're still together to this day. And I know in this season, there was a couple, Ayana and Jared. I love them. But I saw on Instagram recently that they got a divorce.
There is 3 seasons. You're right.
Yeah, there's a few
you're right, because they're in
seasons.
season 2, and then we just saw season 3.
I don't know. I'm
right,
losing track of the numbers, but I do remember the people. So
I was rooting for them, you know?
no, I was too.
But yeah, just proves our point. Love isn't blind.
So we're going to start with set 1 and question 1. First question. Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? And Brandon, I'll let you kick us off.
So I've always sucked at this question. So like when I was like preparing for medical school interviews, this is one of like their kind of standard interview questions. They want you kind of like pre-prepare. And I suck at this question. Because I feel like you can either go like super generic and super kind of like safe. Like I think for my interviews, I said like Barack Obama, which love Barack.
But you know, you wasn't trying to have dinner.
You know, like
if the opportunity presented itself, obviously I don't think you decline. But out of everyone in the world, who would it be?
That is
Alive or dead, doesn't matter.
alive or dead. Okay.
Yeah, I'm adding that part. That actually is not a part of the quiz, but you can add it to your quiz.
I mean, would you take 20 million or have dinner with Jay-Z?
Do you want to have dinner with Jay-Z or not?
You know, I'll take the 20 million. But you know, since the deceased also count, I'm gonna say Mac Miller.
Yeah.
Like
Mac was an icon. We saw him a few times or just once?
we saw him once. We saw him maybe like 3 weeks before he passed.
Yeah.
And
great performer.
His stage presence and the way he kind of connected with the crowd, like in his little ad libs and in between different songs. Like
he was a character.
He just seems so cool. And like I never met him personally, of course, but like you hear interviews by people who did know him, like
watch his Tiny Desk concert.
Like,
we've seen it so many times.
he just seems so dope. Like just a good time and a good dude overall. So yeah.
Mac
That's
Miller?
my pick, Mac Miller.
All right. So for me, I'm choosing someone who's alive. And if you didn't know, if you know what lip gloss I'm wearing today, shout out to Miss Fenty. Rihanna, like I would love to have dinner with Rihanna. Just looking at her trajectory, she was a very normal girl when she was younger. She started her music career and then she became this mogul in business. And I'm like, I really do admire. She has Savage Fenty and best believe Brandon be wearing the Savage Fenty slippers. I have like 5 membership credits I have not used. She's taking all my money and I'm kind of okay with it. As long as it's going to Rihanna. I'm so serious. I would really just like to hear like some of her thought process around creating some of these brands. When I look at, she does the Savage Fenty runway show and she has all types of models, very, very diverse crew. And it's something that's never really been done before. When I look at Victoria's Secrets, for example, and I'm like, I never was a big consumer of like the Angel runway show, but when it comes to Miss Rihanna and lingerie and sleepwear and now her active sets, I really wonder what goes on behind that mind. And she still seems so accessible. Like I know she just had a baby, which is so exciting. All the aunties out there, all the Fenty aunties have been really dedicated to and following her pregnancy. But for the most part, I definitely will say Rihanna. I love her.
Fenty aunties?
That's me calling me and the girls Fenty aunties.
Your auntie now.
Yeah, actually on these threads, everybody is calling themselves aunties for Rihanna's child.
At what point did you hit auntie?
I'm just saying.
Auntie realm.
I am a faithful consumer.
Are you at the age point for the aunties yet?
Brandon, I have like I have tons of nieces and nephews. I am an aunt.
No shit, I guess.
And even like if you think about it, I have an uncle who's like 2 years older. 2 years older than me. He's your age. So nothing really makes sense, right? Nothing makes sense.
You say it's all relative.
All right, moving on to question 2. Would you like to be famous? If so, in what way? And if not, why?
Answer this one first. Okay,
so would I like to be famous? Famous. Now, there's certain levels to this.
Yeah, like how famous are we talking?
It's levels to it. So for me, I will say I would not mind. As you can see, like I have my podcast. I've been a creator for years. And influencers and digital creators, they have a certain level of fame where unless you're a loyal follower of that beauty creator or that gamer, 9 out of 10, you're not going to know who that person is. Versus Kanye West, for example. I don't know if you saw the video on the Shade Room, but there were a bunch of paparazzis following him. And honestly, he gave a really calm, and he was very calm and collect, and was just like, if you want to follow me around, where are my assets? Like, you know, I want peace. But when you get to that level of fame, you're not going to get that ever. Every move you make is going to be captured. Everything you do is going to be on the Shade Room, on TMZ. So it's levels to it. Versus like Jackie Aina, like in my eyes, she is famous, but it's levels to that fame though, where people won't go out of their way, which I still do think people will go out of their way to tear you down. But I don't think Jackie Aina is getting followed at all times of the day, to be honest.
So what's your answer?
A certain level of fame, like, yeah, I'd be okay with it, but I wouldn't want massive fame where I could never have any privacy.
So not like Michael Jackson, mega stardom.
Definitely don't want mega stardom.
Tens of thousands of fans stalking your hotel
even
room.
It's like when we come home and you think about all the celebrities, some of them, their homes are getting broken into 24/7. When I come home, I know that my neighbors are going to give me a warm welcome. I could walk up to my front doorstep, you know, and feel comfortable and safe. Like once you get to that mega stardom, that level of safety, it's like, okay, now I have 10 bodyguards at all times. Can't go to the restaurants I enjoy anymore. So definitely wouldn't want to be megastar, but I could be like top 10 influencer.
Like a semi-star.
Or even like, you know, top 10 influencer, like best-selling author, you know, TED Talk speaker.
Oh, we're an author.
Like on that level.
Oh, we're an author.
Yeah. Brandon, do you know how many New York Times best-selling authors there are? There's tons.
Actually, that's a good question.
There's tons.
How they got so many best-selling authors?
They change yearly, by the seasons, quarterly. But
they have to change daily.
No, I know.
This many best-selling authors.
But something like that, like as a digital creator, like I would love to be a big-time digital creator. And, you know, this is not my start, but hopefully we're getting a little closer.
Hey,
so there's my answer.
Way.
What about you, Brandon? I feel like I already know your answer.
Absolutely not. I am so solid on fame. I'm good. I think on face value, there's some appeal to it. Like the idea that I think everyone kind of wants, like, oh, people know who you are. I feel like there's certain significance you can maybe attach to that. But when I take a step back and really think about what that looks like and what that means, like, and especially with today's like digital age, and I see this over and over again with these people who get this kind of this notoriety and the stardom like overnight. It just seems like people build them up. Oh, they have stands, and then they get torn down, like almost overnight. It can be something so obscure, like, oh, they did something 15 years ago, and we caught them, like whatever. They had this one weird tweet.
No, literally, the tweets. Check your timelines tonight.
Tweets be tearing people
because
down.
It really is Twitter. And some of y'all were really saying some crazy stuff, like questionable things. But they growth, I guess.
And they did, but at this point, with all the times I've seen it happen, it kind of seems like people kind of get off to it in some point. Like, oh, we gotta build this person up. Like, oh, we did this one thing. I was waiting for it. Let's tear them down. It's like that is a constant kind of continuous pattern I'm starting to see. It's like I feel like anyone who has a certain level of fame in today's digital age is going to be kind of exposed to that. And that's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm solid.
All right, heard you. Number 3. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you were going to say? Why? We're going to kick it off to you, Brandon.
All right. So it depends on who's on the receiving end of this phone call, right? If it's just me talking to you, me talking to moms, like, no, it's just answer the phone. It's whatever. But like, you know, if it's not someone that I'm super familiar with or comfortable with. Like, yeah, like as the introvert that I am, like I'm gonna go ahead and have a little running script in my head. Am I gonna have everything spelled out verbatim exactly what I'm gonna say? No, that's a little OD. But am I gonna have a general gist or agenda with how this conversation is about to go, or how I hope it'll go? Of course. And then of course, don't be a weirdo. Like follow the natural progression of the conversation. If it goes a certain route, be personable, converse. But it's like, I never just go into a unfamiliar phone call not having some type of plan with how I want it to go.
Yeah. And same for me. I think like for you, are you speaking more towards professional world as well? Or do you do that with like people who are not in the professional world with you?
Professional world, yes, but also say it wasn't a professional phone call. It's just someone random. Why am I calling? Like, why are we calling? Like, I feel like even if it's not professional, there's still an agenda for why this phone call is happening. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Unless it's like one of your people's, and that's just you talking just to talk.
Yeah. So same for me. And I feel like it applies more so to the professional world. So when I am speaking with partners or I do have specific meetings, I'm coming prepared. Like I have a whole agenda. Low key, sometimes there might be a script ready for you, but you never follow that script because everybody is so different. But especially if I'm not familiar with you, not really in the non-professional world, but always the professional sense. Because even with the students from USC, I just felt very comfortable about like what I do. And I'm like, just call me and we'll just have a conversation.
So to give y'all some context, this amazing woman right here was giving whole talks at USC.
That did happen.
This is the level up that she's been hitting right now.
That did happen. That was very exciting. Hopefully, like I said, TED Talk speaker, holla at your girl.
Hey. You heard it here first.
All right. Number 4. What would constitute a perfect day for you? And I guess since you went first last time. So for me, a perfect day, honestly, when me and Brandon travel together, perfect days. When we go to San Diego, for example, I say the day starts off with a road trip, a nice album, pull up to a city that we're unfamiliar with or even familiar with, such as San Diego. We always have the best time in San Diego, pull out our roller skates, have a good drink. Like that is a perfect day. And we do this all the time. Even to bring this up, was it last year, Valentine's Day, we went to San Diego? I know we went for your birthday one year.
Was that? That was his last one. Yeah, that was his last one.
Our last Valentine's Day.
That was so fun.
We were like, and honestly, like right now, we're not too big on, all right, buy me a $800,000 ring. No, even I don't think we'll ever
800,000.
I don't think we'll really be there, but
there's some extra zeros that were added for
let me tell you
reasons I don't understand.
Let me tell you. So nothing that crazy, but it's really about like making those memorable moments for us right now. You know, every year for Valentine's Day, I get in the car and Brandon has like some random basket he put together with sweets and all kind of stuff that I love. So a perfect day for me, like I just think about our San Diego trips. Like nothing, we always do something random. We'll go to San Diego, bar hop. We were at a freaking, what was that, comedy club?
Oh, we're at like
my God, I'm
what was
stressed.
like a all, like not all comers, like a
newcomers?
like a newcomers comedy night, something like that.
I have never been to a comedy night before. When I tell you I saw some stuff I wish I could unsee.
And it's like
it was very fun, but it's a little anxiety driven.
It was an open mic. There we go.
Open mic night.
And like I get it. Like say you're a comedian, you have some new material.
And you have to practice.
Yeah, you're not sure how the crowd's gonna react with the delivery, so you want to practice in like a low stress environment. But y'all, some of the things we heard.
No, seriously.
There's some weird folk out here.
Just to give a little context, it was really interesting. There was this guy from the East Coast. And he was doing these high-key racist skits.
Talking about the bald dude?
Talking about I don't even want to say it. Keisha on the double dutch thing. That was crazy. Like really absurd. And another guy like was sinking into a black hole, and it was just kind of uncomfy.
It was like sinking into a black hole, and like he's having a panic attack on stage as it's happening.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was part of the skit or
he needed medical attention.
And then there was this girl. She came in and she was
what was her name? Not Scarlett. Spirit.
There was this girl named Spirit, y'all. I'm gonna have to send this to the San Diego Comedy Club because they gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. So there was this girl named Spirit, and she used to wander around this comedy club, and the people just called. Was her real name Spirit?
No, I think that was like her government name. Was
I don't know. I wonder if they gave her that name.
Nah, I mean,
they could have given her that name.
We didn't get IDs, so
we sure didn't. And then at some point, the security guard started doing his own monologue on the stage. I said, "Okay, I was like, it's just like free game. It's fair game right now."
That's how Spirit got on stage because
you ain't doing your job. Anyways, my perfect day for sure. Going down to San Diego or any city really. San Francisco, it could be in Colorado, which we have not done yet. But yeah, just like spur of the moment activities. Because I feel like our lives are pretty planned out from day to day right now. So like doing those sporadic fun events is just always like, I don't know, ends up being a perfect day. Brandon, what would constitute a perfect day for you?
Yeah, so my perfect day right now, that exists in my memory. It was me and Ams. We were in Thailand, right? And imagine we're on the beach. We were having lunch, and then we walk into the ocean, right? And it is like bathtub water.
It was really warm.
It is perfect body temp water. Yeah. It is completely clear skies. The sun is slowly starting to go down, so like right before sunset.
And I think we had mango sticky rice as well.
We had mango sticky rice,
goated.
It was our first day in Thailand, and I remember at some point I kind of like look around, just really take everything in. Like it's my first time in Asia. I'm like, yo, like
for real, we made it to Asia.
Yeah, at this point, like this was years ago. I'm like, dang, like it just opened my eyes to how amazing the globe is. Like I'm so used to being in the United States and seeing amazing places here. I love my life, but just being able to travel and to have these experiences with your partner, like I was like, I don't know how you top this. Like, like this is kind of it.
Top two and it's not two.
So if you had to ask me like what's my perfect day, it's doing that again, like going on some far away exploration and just discovering the world with someone I love and just like really just taking it all in, like getting away from the day-to-day stresses and pressures and everything else, and just really for whatever time span you have, just appreciating just being here. Like that was amazing to me. I'd love to be able to do that again.
Truly. And it's you always, when I travel, you always realize how small you are on this earth, on this planet, like whatever it may be. So when you travel other places, there's millions of other people who are doing different things and have different cultures, and you get to immerse yourself in that. And it's like, it's really eye-opening. That's why when I come back, I'm just like, dang. But then it's like you do have to be grateful for the life you live because those travel experiences, I know it's only a short period of time, but that's why we're forever chasing something new and trying to travel somewhere every year, at least once a year. So just keeping that feeling of, you know, what's next alive after already experiencing something like Thailand.
And y'all, niggas was in Asia.
Were they?
Can I say niggas?
Yes, Brandon. It's Black History Month. It's Black History Month. You can say whatever you want to on this podcast.
You're right. But yes, that's Asia, yes.
Oh, and happy Black History Month, y'all. We are moving on. Question 5. When did you last sing to yourself or to someone else? The last time I sung to myself, I was in the car. Was it today, yesterday? Put on Frank Ocean, was bumping it at the top of my lungs because honestly, I did feel like I was about to fall asleep in the car. And I was like, I don't want to listen to no trap music right now. Let's put on little smooth jams.
So you said, hey, I'm about to fall asleep at the wheel. This is a problem. Let me go put on some Frank Ocean.
That's the mood I was in. I didn't want to listen to Lil Veda at the moment.
Yeah, the mood you were in about to put you to sleep at the wheel.
No, I know. In the sun, like, it was getting real warm.
So you put on Frank Ocean of all niggas?
Let me tell you, it's already been a long week. And in addition to it, it's Grammys week right now. I really wish my boo could have attended some of the events with me.
I'm over here studying for finals, right? This girl is out till 5 a.m.
About to catch another flight. Apple butter make you wanna bite.
Look at her.
I'm gonna have a good night.
At Grammys after parties. I am trying to provide for our kids.
What kids?
Build a greater life for our family.
Me too. I'm networking.
And she's partying on a Wednesday.
I'm literally networking. Brandon, I'm telling you. I was networking.
Loyal black father right here.
Loyal black mother right here.
The kids are starving while you out here partying.
I got them Postmates. I'll Postmate them something.
Oh, shit.
No, but for real. So the last time I sang, it was Frank Ocean, top of my lungs, while I was driving to Fontana. And then the last time I sang to someone, it was recently one of my best friend's birthdays on last Saturday. And I sang happy birthday to her when it was her birthday. What about you, Brandon? I know you like to hit a tune every here and again.
So if y'all know me, y'all know that I am
not a singer. I
am not a fan of unsolicited singing. You know what I'm saying? It grinds my gears. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's the strangest thing. He really does not like when people sing.
When someone just breaks out into a song, it makes my skin crawl. Like, why? Why are we doing this?
Brandon, that is not okay.
Hey.
So how is it when you listen to musicians sing? What if somebody actually sounds good and they're like, that just irritates you?
So I've learned, and it sounds weird. I'm sorry, y'all think I'm a weirdo on the screen right now, but like, I've learned it's not a question of skill level or ability. It's just the idea that I was not expecting it, and now you're singing. Like, why?
What does it do to you though? And if they sound good, is it like I still don't want you to sing?
No, I want you to stop.
Oh God, that's it. We're gonna have to dig deeper.
I want you to just go ahead and just store that for later.
He said, "When I'm not around,
at an appropriate time, you can unleash it." But right now, on a Tuesday morning, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and just stow that for now. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't right.
But last time I sung to myself, you know what I'm saying? So
it's not even to yourself, to someone else.
To someone else.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I don't sing.
Actually, y'all, I be hearing Brandon try and hit a note or two, and I'm sorry, boo, but you cannot sing.
Hey, y'all, so all my...
cannot sing.
So I know what
it's okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what I'm good at. I have my skill set. I have my talents. I'm very secure in my talents. Singing is not one of them. I've come to terms with this.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Number 6. If you were able to live to the age of 90... and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want?
So to clarify, I hit 30, and at 30, I can choose, do I want to keep my body, my current body, for the next 60 years, or do I want to keep my current mind for the next 60 years?
Yes, that is the question.
Clarifications. So, if I keep my mind of a 30-year-old, am I able to still learn things? Or am I stuck with the knowledge I have right now in that moment for the rest of my life?
I think it's stuck with the knowledge because they're asking, especially the mind will continue to learn new things.
Okay. Follow-up question. If I keep the body of a 30-year-old, right?
Yeah, this is going to make everything more complicated.
These are very important clarifications.
It seemed like a very simple question to me.
It is not. It is not. We have to unpack this. You know
Arthur Aaron would not be happy about these questions.
Who the hell is Arthur Aaron?
Arthur Aaron made the 36 questions of love.
1997. He ain't here no more. It's fine. It's fine.
Brandon, what if he is? Let's not. You don't be killing nobody else.
Let's bring that back. But so say you have the body of a 30-year-old for the next 60 years, right?
Okay.
What happens when you hit 90 yet you have the body of a 30-year-old?
That's not the question.
Does someone just pop up, just shoot you in the head? Like, what happens?
That's not the question.
So if I choose to have the body of a 30-year-old, am I also signing up to get brutally murdered on my 90th birthday?
You have really prolonged the question, and
these are important
Brandon,
clarifying points.
which pick one and say why. You about to piss me off.
Actually, it's not even that. It's not even that deep.
It's not.
I'm gonna keep the body.
Okay, that's what I said. I was like, if I'm 30, I get to keep my 30-year-old body for 60 more years, but my mind will continue to expand and grow in all ways. I'd much rather do that versus I have the mind of a 30-year-old while I'm 50 and my physical body is declining with me.
But then if you find out that you pick your selection, right?
Okay.
But then also on your 90th birthday,
I'm so over this 90th birthday
kidnapped, tortured, and stabbed 97 times.
This is not a true crime podcast.
I'm saying, like, does that change the answer that you pick?
It could, but that's not
an important detail.
No, it's not. Arthur Aaron did not include that in his question.
30-year-olds don't just die from natural causes that often.
Well, but what if you have prolonged life because now you do have this 30-year-old body?
But if your 30-year-old body, you still have a 30-year-old heart, 30-year-old liver, 30-year-old brain. Well,
yeah.
Not brain. That's contingent on the question. But everything else is still pumping. So why'd you die suddenly at 90?
Who said you died? I think he's just saying if you were able to live to old age.
We can move on, but
yeah, we must move on.
We're gonna unpack that later.
Y'all, I don't know if we getting through set one.
There's more in there.
I'm gonna let you
Y'all
know.
with me, right?
But I don't know if we're gonna get through set one. Maybe we'll have to do it in parts, like set 2 and set 3. I highly recommend you guys look at the rest of it. But let's see what we could do. Number 7. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? Oh my God, I've never really thought about that.
So I'm still in that realm where I like to think I'm invincible and that'll never happen. But obviously. Do
you have a hunch? If you just thought something crazy, not even crazy, like normal. Oh my God, don't say it.
In my bed, comfortable, surrounded by my people.
Watching a good show.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Just go to sleep.
Do you really think that?
Huh? I hope.
Okay.
How do you think you're going to go?
I could have an asthma attack. I'm just thinking about what kind of conditions I have.
Oh,
I'm just saying. Or even my eczema. I don't think people die from eczema though.
You ain't die from
I'm telling you, Brandon, what if you like...
No, but the asthma, that hit me.
No, asthma, I'm telling you.
Is you good?
I'm fine. I am, but I'm just saying, I hope that doesn't happen. But they said a hunch. I have asthma.
I got nebulizer in the back.
I do remember when I went to Colorado one time, I was on this little bike and we were way up in the mountains and I really had triggered my asthma really bad. I really could not breathe. That was terrible. I was much younger though.
You know, that's how my grandfather passed away.
Asthma attack. Wow. I didn't know that.
My paternal grandfather, asthma attack.
I did not know it was asthma. Oh, so your dad's dad. Oh, okay. I was thinking about your mom's dad. Got it. Oh, wow. That's deep.
Is it?
I'm sorry for your loss, Brandon.
Same. I wasn't thought of yet, but you know, still unpacking.
Maybe you were.
Well, my dad was 5.
Okay. Then moving on. Number 8. Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common.
Appear to have in common? So is that...
We can just say, what are 3 things
we have in common? Like, what does he appear to have
Because
in common?
I think these questions are more so for people who don't know each other.
Oh. Do I know you?
But even too, it's not for who don't know, because the guy who made this, it was for his wife. So what are 3 things we have in common or appear to have in common? What do you think?
We're both creative.
Definitely. That's actually even how we met. It's actually, I'm glad it worked out for the long term. But like when I started dating you, I did not know you wanted to be a doctor. I knew you as artist Brandon, not Dr. Brandon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know what you wanted to do, but seriously. So I'm not here for the money. It's you.
How's you dealing with this broke phase?
It's okay. It's temporary. I'm in grind mode right now. For real.
What's number 2?
Well, you said us being creatives. I also think... I wouldn't say patient. I was gonna say patient, but I don't think you're like as patient. You're actually not really patient.
Patience is not.
You're not patient at all.
No. Mm-mm.
I think we're both adventurous. Like we be down. Like it's like you in, I'm in, bet, and we'll both do it. You know?
Agreed.
We're definitely very adventurous. Like if you want to go, what's it called? It's not snorkeling.
Scuba diving.
Scuba diving. I know a lot of people would be scared to go scuba diving. Jump out of an airplane. I jump out of an airplane with you. You know, just like random adventurous stuff. I think we're both.
So you're down to go skydiving?
I've always been down to go skydiving.
All right, y'all. Y'all seen this at 11:05 p.m.
No, they're not. It's going to be 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. Keep it cute.
Well, whenever y'all see it, y'all heard that Amber is down to go skydiving.
I am down. I've always been down.
Because I've been.
I know. In your past life.
Past life.
What's the third one? Both creative, both very adventurous. And what's one more?
I don't want to say something like super obvious, like we both went to UCLA.
I thought you were going to say we're both attractive.
I was going to both black, but
no, we are both black. That's not obvious at all.
That's not obvious. I mean, you little.
Well, you mentioned UCLA. I feel like we're both very knowledgeable about a lot of different topics. I'd say we're both smart people, which is why we are able to engage in certain conversations with each other.
You think I'm smart?
Just a little bit. Just a little.
I'm touched.
Number 9, for what in your life do you feel most grateful? Most grateful. I want you to go first. I got to think a little bit.
Most grateful.
You know, I know mine. So for me, I'm most grateful. I have an extremely supportive family. Like everybody always says like we do like these family camping trips. We always show up for each other, whether that's graduations. Like when I look back at certain pictures, I was like, this uncle, this cousin, they're in my graduation. Like I have a really supportive family who I know 100%. Like if I needed anything, they would be there for me. But they're definitely like the backbone of everything that I do. So that's like what I'm most grateful for, because I feel like it's my family who like, they're the ones who lifted me up to where I am today. Or that's where I get my confidence from. A girl when I was at the USC, when I was doing the talk at USC, she had actually asked me, she was like, how did you become so confident? And I never thought about that. And I just thought like from a really early age, like, I don't know, my mom, I don't know what she did, but I've always been very, very confident in myself.
Shout out Miss Pugh.
No, seriously. Like I'm very grateful to have a supportive family, because I know a lot of people don't have that.
It's beautiful.
What about you, Bill?
Most grateful?
Yeah, most grateful in this life.
Most grateful for. So I had a very special day, anniversary, if you will, that passed very recently. I am now officially 1 year in remission. For those that don't know, I was diagnosed with lymphoma last year. And that was a whole whirlwind, involved chemo for the course of about 5 months while I'm in medical school as a first-year student. And yeah, I am just so grateful that I am, for one, now healthy, now living my life however I see fit. But also, too, it just really makes you just realize, like, I think when I was diagnosed, I was 26. At that age, like, you think you're invincible. You never have to really come to terms with your mortality at any point. And I'm just so grateful that even despite that health scare, I was able to get the treatment that I needed, which a lot of people don't even have access to. The fact that the treatment worked, and the fact that it's now given me the insight that's very important for myself as a future doctor, that realize, like, when my patient comes to me in a health crisis or in the scariest moment of their life, I can at least in some way relate with what they're going through and use that knowledge to give better care to my future patients. And I don't know, it just gives you a lot of clarity. And after a year, like, I'm so grateful for where I'm at right now, and wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah. You know, we love your life, Brandon. Everybody does.
I love mine too.
Seriously, you guys have never seen Brandon in action, but like, All his peer reviews, doctors are like, oh my God, I didn't even know you were a medical student. You seem like you're in residency. And just like the patience that he has with his patients, like it really does show in what kind of physician he will be someday. So a lot of people don't get that type of care, but when you're in the care of Dr. Towns, like I know you're in good hands.
Soon to be.
Hey man, we're gonna make it happen. 2 more years. That was beautiful. Moving on. Number 10. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be?
Ooh, if you could change.
Yeah. I feel like I know your answer.
You know my answer?
Yeah.
So I have my answer in my head. What do you think I'm going to say?
Not being a military kid.
Damn, you're good.
I know you.
You're good.
I know
You're
you.
good. So,
and I know why.
So disclaimer, y'all. Not disclaimer. For context, like I'm a military kid. Both my parents are Air Force veterans. Served 26 and 30 years respectively.
Shout out Anna and Tony.
Hey, my rocks. But and caveat, like military paid for my undergraduate education. They have give me a great life growing up, but I have such a big family, both on my dad's side and my mom's side, but they live in either East St. Louis, Illinois, or they live in Alabama, and I'm in California. So it's like when you're separated from your family, and before that I was in Texas, because you're moving so much as a military kid, you don't have those growing up experiences as much compared to people who lived in the same city with each other. So if I can go back in time, that's the one thing I would change. Like I get it, great life was afforded to me by their careers, but at the same time, like having that deeper connection with family because I grew up with you like day to day, that's something that I really cherish, and I wish I had that opportunity to experience.
No, I hear that, and I think on my end, what do you think I'm gonna say? I feel like it's very obvious.
So you're not an only child, but I think growing up, if you didn't have that kind of lived experience as an early child, I think that's something you would change.
Brandon doesn't know me. That's not what I was gonna say.
What were you gonna say?
So I'm going to repeat the question. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be?
What are you about to say?
Having a dad, Brandon.
Okay, do you want the siblings growing up, or do you want the dad? Like,
no, I'd rather have had a dad.
Okay.
Like having a 2-parent household, that would have been cool, you know?
But you've always talked about how you wish you had siblings growing up.
But more so, I wish I had a dad growing up.
Okay.
The siblings come or they don't.
But they take a gamble. I guess wrong, apparently.
No, seriously, I feel like that's the only thing. And definitely like being in a house full of women, majority of the time, like it was fun. And like I always say, like I had uncles and cousins and all kind of family, but definitely having that paternal figure, that's like the one thing I would have changed. And obviously that wasn't in my hands anyways, but if I could go back in time, let's rewind a little bit more, that is one thing I would change. Yeah. I feel like it's very obvious. Bailey would have got that right.
I've only heard you talk about the fact that you wish you grew up with Sad and Yaz and Jade.
I feel like I see that more about him though. Seriously.
No, you haven't.
No, because even like, I do wish I knew my siblings when I was younger, but I feel like I wasn't, because if you think about it, like Bailey was my sister growing up.
Oh,
seriously,
you did have Bailey. That's
like
right.
I had cousins who were like
That's
siblings. Like I never,
I
never felt with siblings, honestly.
But on the same breath, you also had older male figures in your life, like your Uncle Herbert.
But it's different because he has kids and dad and all these Father's Days, and like that's not my dad. You know?
I hear you.
So it's a little different.
I hear you.
Versus like the sibling aspect, definitely wish I would have had a little bit more childhood interaction, but
you still had a stand-in.
For sure.
Way.
No, me and Bailey, like, man, inseparable, for real. Inseparable. Moving on. Number 11. Take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible. We're going to skip that one. I just,
skip.
So you guys know, do it with your partners, with your friends, whatever it may be.
Don't skip.
Number 12. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be?
One quality or ability.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Here you go. About to ask another question for the question.
Y'all, I'm a firm believer that clarifying questions are very important.
No, babe, I think that's quite clear.
Like any type of
My
ability.
thing is, do you want to lift 800 pounds? I don't know.
So that's in the realm of possible with this question.
Yeah,
Okay,
anything.
cool.
A quality or ability.
All I need to know.
Be the strongest man in the world. Be the smartest man in the world. I don't know. So, what is it?
I answered the last question first.
No, you got. I feel like you already know your answer to this.
I
stuff.
don't.
You do.
Do I? No, I don't. No, I don't. So I have an answer, but I think it's a good answer.
So I have one, and it's fairly quick. I think for me, a quality, building a consistent routine. I think I'm kind of, and definitely not all over the place, but it is really difficult for me to write out a schedule and follow it. So I would love a quality, wouldn't even say consistency, but just following through with the day-to-day. Like sometimes my days can be a little sporadic, and I wish it was a little more scheduled on my end. I think that's a great quality. Like Brandon has that quality. He's going to the gym at 5. He's going to class. He's doing this. And I never want it to be so routine, but me, y'all, I've been trying to go to the gym and it's been rough. All I need to do is, what's it, 12, 3:30? That's what I've been trying to do. It's rough because like I have no schedule and I can't stick to it at all. But with the podcast, I am very proud of myself. I've been doing this for almost 2 months straight now.
And you said next episode is Wednesday at what?
6 p.m. PT.
On the dot.
So what is the one quality or ability you wish you had? Or tomorrow.
And I
wake up with it.
And y'all, I'm not going the supernatural route. I'm going to keep it real.
Supernatural?
I ain't going to try to go super. Lifting 800 pounds within reason is supernatural.
I was obviously being quite dramatic.
But I would say my procrastination, y'all, I am a serial procrastinator. And I'm
surprised like you do that, like you're like that.
And I've gotten better. I will say, like, medical school makes you kind of be on top of your stuff a little better, but like I still just sometimes slip into old habits, and I wish that when there was moments when I don't have this like increased pressure on my back to get things done, like when you have a little bit of breathing room, don't take that time to kind of like relax and do basically nothing. Like use that to get ahead so you're not stressed out in 2 weeks because you're now close to the deadline and you wait till the last second. So, yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah. I am a professional procrastinator, and I wish it was different.
Now that we have gotten through set 1 of all those questions, we are only going to pull one from set 2 and set 3 because there are a ton more questions. But as you can see so far, I really, really advise you do this with either someone who's really close to you or your romantic partner. It's kind of been fun.
It has. It has.
I got to learn. I actually learned a few things in this podcast about you right now, Brandon.
Yeah. It might be 26 years old, but Arthur, whatever his name,
Aaron.
He had a good little list going on.
Yeah, he did. All right, set 2. Which one did you want to pick?
Let's do number 10.
Number 10. Alternate sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner. Share a total of 5 items. I'll let you kick this one off.
5 items. Oh, so you go back and forth.
No, you say 5 about me.
Oh,
and I
full
say
5?
I know, maybe 2, maybe 1.
1.
Look, maybe 1. We're aligned. Okay, so what is one thing about me?
Oh, I go first?
Yeah, boo.
So, the number one positive trait about Ams, and besides, y'all know she's gorgeous, besides all that, and this, honestly, y'all, this is the trait that really kind of roped me in, and like this has to be the one. Your ambition.
Okay.
It is like, y'all, like, understand, like, we're both UCLA students. We're on top of our stuff. We're very academic. We're doing well, but it's like moments when I find myself getting kind of complacent with where I'm at, like, okay, this is cool. Like, I don't have to do more. Like, I'm doing well. Let's just kind of chill. Amber is that person, like, nah, I have to challenge myself. Like, nah, like I'm doing cool, but I want to be doing great. And it's like when you have somebody that is that ambitious, that hungry to be the best form of themselves, like, are you just going to be sitting back BSing? Like, nah, like it's going to make you want to also match that person's energy. And I know I would have been great. I've been doing good without Ams, but like knowing being with her has constantly challenged me to, when I am in those moments of kind of contentment, to realize like, yo, like, am I really giving 100%? Am I not? Okay. How do I take it to that next level? That is a completely awe-inspiring trait that you possess. And I love it about you.
Thanks, Boo. I appreciate it. Okay. And the one word I would say is a positive characteristic of Brandon is he is extremely disciplined. No matter where we are, whether it's a birthday, a cruise, when Brandon was studying for the MCAT, getting ready to go into medical school, he was so disciplined. When he had a break on the cruise, he would go duck off in a room, do a quiz, go through a few chapters. And a lot of people cannot do that. And I really, really admire that. Even, for example, this week, it was the Grammys week. I never push Brandon to do anything, but I will always extend the invite. But Brandon's like, I have a final. And he was disciplined. A lot of people would have said, oh, it's Grammys week, let's turn up. Brandon was like, no, I know what I need to do, and this is what has to be done. And he does that through all of his work, not just for school, but like he's very disciplined in the gym. Like I feel like you have a very disciplined lifestyle, and that's such a huge quality that people need when they want to succeed in life. And a lot of people are not disciplined. That's why you say you want to do something and you can never get to that goal, because you cannot set some things aside to say, I'm going to have to take that L to make sure that I have these bigger wins, you know? And I admire that about you.
Oh, between your ambition and my discipline, I think, we might take over the
sky's the limit. The sky is the limit. Seriously. People already know, like, right now we are killing it. And this is only the beginning. Like, we're still so young. So, like, even I can't wait to see what we're doing in 5 years. Moving on to set 3. So I'm going to ask question 10. Your house containing everything you own catches fire. After saving your loved ones and pets, you have time to safely make a final dash to save any one item. What would it be and why?
Oh, that's slight.
What is it?
But you gotta go first.
No, Brandon, you gotta go
first.
Gotta go first. No, please.
If you insist. So a big thing for me, so I'm also a photographer on the side. Don't get to shoot as much as I would like because of school, but like photography is very much a huge motivating kind of passion for just me and my day to day. And if I had to pick one thing apart from loved ones and pets, it would be my hard drive, like my collection of work. Literally mapping from my beginnings, 6 years ago up until now, like the idea that I would lose that and all that work and the progression and all the experiences and memories that are also tied into each individual shoot, that would be depressing. Like I would be devastated. So 112%, it would be my hard drive.
Yeah.
My photography hard drive.
Okay. For me, the first thing I thought about, I was like, maybe I should change it. But I'm like, this is the first thing that I did think about. So Brandon made me this book, and he wrote me a letter in this book, and he scrapbooked for me. Y'all, that is a rarity. Like amongst just men in general, like how many men you see just sitting down scrapbooking for their girl? Like, come on now, BFFR. But Brandon, he made this scrapbook for me. Ordered this like hard cover from some like Sweden or something that says BAM on it, which is like our couple name. But yeah, he wrote this love letter for me, all these photos of our adventures. And I just think not only the physical item is so important to me, but it's like what's in it, the memories, and even thinking about the time he took out to make that scrapbook. Like, I think it's one of the coolest gifts I've ever received, and I definitely would want to save that.
You really like that scrapbook?
I do. That's like, I'm telling you, a lot of people are not great gift givers, but you have definitely learned over time.
Not learned over time.
I'm not going to go for the okie doke. Even just like when I was little, like making cards. I wish I still made physical cards, but it's just something about it. And now that I don't make physical cards, like best believe you get a top-notch card. And that's a wrap, y'all. Thank you for joining us while we did 36 questions of love. Although we did not get through all 36, I highly advise you try this for your Valentine's Day quiz just to see, are we compatible or not? Or what kind of conversations can you spark from these love questions? So Brandon, as always, it's lovely having you on the Keep It Cute podcast. I'm already trying to get him back, in the next few weeks. Maybe we can finish set 2 and 3, but we'll see. And you will catch me next Wednesday at 6 p.m. PT. Thank you for joining again. Don't forget to follow the Keep It Cute pod on all socials. Good night.